Name and your title.
My name's Josh Allen, and I am the owner of Independent Drum Lab.
Tell me about this lab.
Yeah, we make drums here and drum parts, and basically everything that we do is kind of based around the science of how drums work. And so that's kind of why the lab is part of the name, because I do take a scientific look at the sound of drums and design products to meet those requirements.
The basic putting together of the drum. Give me the primer here.
Yeah, so this is a snare drum. Basically every drum set has this as the center, and it's a really important sound for a drummer. We can put it together pretty simply here. This is the drum head. Okay. This is that magic piece that you hit, and
that
somehow
goes on next, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't really put your stick through it unless you're hitting the wrong way. But it's very strong, very durable material, but it's very lightweight and flexible. So that just fits over the drum that way.
Sure does.
And then this is a hoop, which we pull the tension against the head. So you put that down there, then each one of these tension screws threads into the lugs. And then these are how you tune the drum.
Because a drum needs tuned?
Absolutely. You don't really tune it to a pitch because there's a lot of different overtones in it.
Don't have to give me all your secrets, but how do you make a pretty good looking and a good sounding drum these days?
Well, it has to do a lot with physics. I mean, you have to start thinking about, here's something that I want to vibrate when you hit it. And so, what I do that's a lot different than many other manufacturers is really focus on making parts and shells and everything to be really low mass, really lightweight. So it takes less energy to make it resonate. So I've designed basically every component that we use on the drums, and then designed a shell, the wood part of the drum, to be thinner and lighter than most any other manufacturer. And all those little details kind of come together and make a really lightweight as well as really nice sounding drum. It just responds very, very easily to the impact of a stick. It vibrates the head makes the rest of the drum vibrate.
Take it away.
All right, so there's a lot of different beliefs on how you tune a drum, and what I've tended to promote is actually using 2 drum keys. So when we're tuning the drum, we tune the opposite lugs at the same time. So I would just go around and give a couple turns in each spot.
And I can keep it looser, I can keep it tighter, depending on the sound I need.
Exactly.
On my sticks, okay.
So I would tap and try to find where it's different. So
that
I'm
sounds
finding that
different,
one's
yes.
a little bit higher. So if I loosen that a little bit,
Okay.
and now the head is balanced with itself.
Okay. And then talk about the art of drumming. What's it like to be a drummer in a band?
It's the best. If you're a little bit shy, you can sit in the back, and you don't have to, you don't have to be the center of attention. But you get back, and you're laying the foundation for the entire band. I mean, you really set the cadence of the music, and really the drumming defines a lot of the sound that comes out of a band.
How is it that as a little guy you did play with the drums, and here you are full circle this year today, your chosen profession?
It's something that never left. All through school and after, I always play the drums, and I always wanted to design a product that I had a passion for. There's so many different careers and so many different products that I could have gone out and designed, and I did. I did some very non-drum related projects, but I always was looking for that drum connection. And so I did get a job with a drum company for several years, but just decided that I could do better on my own, and left and got this started.
Tell me a little bit more about this whole snare.
Right, so a snare drum, The thing that's unique about the snare drum is the snares, which are wires across the bottom.
Okay, little wires.
Yes, they're in a coil shape. There are a few different types,
Okay.
but for drummers that play drum set, most of the time they're going to look something like this, just individual steel or brass or bronze coiled wire, and those are held at an adjustable tension, so I can release it.
Oh.
So this is the snare drum without the snares. But then when I flip that lever there,
There it is.
that gives that snare sound.
Yeah. Out and about, you're showing off your work, you're showing off what's happening here in Kalamazoo. What kind of feedback are you getting? What do your people say?
You know, the people that buy and use these drums, I mean, we're a small manufacturer in the sea of all the bigger drum companies that are out there. And the people that buy these things are really passionate about it. You know, they read every word on the website and they understand why the small aspects of our drums are different than what other people are doing. And you know, I have people come to the shows, you know, we go to these trade shows and they say, I came here just to actually put my hands on these drums in particular because I was so excited about what I read online. And then, you know, we'll build a custom set from somebody, and I get emails daily from people that say, you know, I'm just so excited about this drum I bought. It just sounds like nothing I've ever heard before. Or, you know, I bought these parts from you, and now my drum that's been sitting around for years, it works like new again. So, you know, I get these stories all the time, and it's my favorite part of the job.
Talk to me, what's happening here?
Yeah, so we have a very unique finish process, and it's one of the options that you have when you buy a drum from us, and we can actually create basically any look that you're after. We can mix and match any color you want and put them on in a number of different in a number of different patterns. And what's really unique about the way that we put it on is it actually makes drums sound better than kind of a conventional finish. So this is what we call a wrap, and this is what a lot of drum manufacturers use, and it's basically a piece of plastic that's wrapped around the drum and glued. So you can see there's a seam here.
Yes.
And just the weight of that and the fact that it's kind of glued on really affects the sound of the shell.
Yes.
So if I just give a little tap on here, you can hear it's very dead sounding.
Dead sounding. Here we go.
This is our finish.
That's alive sounding.
Exactly. And it's basically, you know, if you look around here, there's no seam. We build up those finishes directly on the drum with a proprietary material.
That's your secret to success.
It's one of them, one of many.
Yes, it is.
Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, helping to build and enrich the cultural life of Greater Kalamazoo.